have you?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Artist Reads the Bible. Today we're going to be starting with Genesis 32. 32 is a little lengthy, but not too bad. And we'll probably read 33. How long is 34? I think it's a little longer. 34 is a little longer. Probably do 32 and 33, I'd say. As usual, got my highlighter. Got my not much decaf Java juice, and I got the living Word of God. And I finally got my ears lowered, so it looks a lot better, don't it? I can do it. All right, let me get these spectacles off. Oh, my eyes are tired. Been on a computer a lot today, getting that eye strain. All right, let's get started, shall we? 32. As Jacob started on his way again, angels of God came to meet him. When Jacob saw them, he exclaimed, "This is God's camp." So he named the place Mahanaim. 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 Oh, something like it. Then Jacob sent messengers ahead to his brother Esau, who was living in the region of Seir, in the land of Edom. He told them, "Give this message to my master Esau. Humble greetings from your servant Jacob. Until now, I have been living with Uncle Laban, and now I own cattle, donkeys, flocks of sheep, and goats, and many servants, both men and women. I have sent these messengers to inform my lord of my coming, hoping that you will be friendly to me." After delivering the message, the messengers returned to Jacob and reported, "We met your brother Esau, and he is already on his way to meet you with an army of 400 men. Jacob was terrified at the news. Should be, as bad as he screwed over Esau. He divided his household along with the flocks and herds and camels into two groups. He thought, if Esau meets one group and attacks it, perhaps the other group can escape. Then Jacob prayed, "O God of my grandfather Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, O Lord, you told me, return to your own land and to your relatives, and you promised me I will treat you kindly. I am not worthy of all the unfailing love and faithfulness you have shown to me, your servant. When I left home and crossed the Jordan River, I owned nothing except a walking stick. Now my household fills two large camps. O Lord, please rescue me from the hand of my brother Esau. I am afraid that he is coming to attack me, along with my wives and children. But you promised me I will surely treat you kindly, and I will multiply your descendants until they become as numerous as the sands along the seashore, too many to count." Jacob stayed where he was for the night. Then he selected these gifts from his possessions to present to his brother Esau: 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes, 20 rams, 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, and 10 male donkeys. That's a lot of livestock, isn't it? He divided these animals into herds and assigned each to different servants. Then he told his servants, "Go ahead of me with the animals, but keep some distance between the herds." He gave these instructions to the men leading the first group. "When my brother Esau meets you, he will ask, 'Whose servants are you? Where are you going? Who owns these animals?' You must reply, 'They belong to your servant Jacob, but they are a gift for his master Esau. Look, he is coming right behind us.'" Jacob gave the same instructions to the second and third herdsmen and to all who followed behind the herds. "You must say the same thing to Esau when you meet him, and be sure to say, 'Look, your servant Jacob is right behind us.'" Jacob thought, "I will try to appease him by sending gifts ahead of me. When I see him in person, perhaps he will be friendly to me." So the gifts were sent on ahead, while Jacob himself spent that night in the camp. During the night, Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 servant wives, and his 11 sons, and crossed the Jabbok River with them. After taking them to the other side, he sent over all his possessions. This left Jacob all alone in the camp, and a man came and wrestled with him until the dawn began to break. When the man saw that he would not win the match, he touched Jacob's hip and wrenched it out of its socket. Then the man said, "Let me go, for the dawn is breaking." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." "What is your name?" the man asked. He replied, "Jacob." "Your name will no longer be Jacob," the man told him. "From now on you will be called Israel, because you have fought with God and with men and have won." "Please tell me your name," Jacob said. "I'll talk about it in a minute." "Why do you want to know my name?" the man replied. Then he blessed Jacob there. Jacob named the place Peniel, which means face of God, for he said, "I have seen God face to face, yet my life has been spared." The sun was rising as Jacob left Peniel, and he was limping because of the injury to his hip. Even today, the people of Israel don't eat the tendon near the hip socket because of what happened that night when the man strained the tendon of Jacob's hip. That was 32. I'm going to put these on, get a little Java juice. Something really don't make no sense to me there. God's not, I mean, you're not going to be able to beat God. I don't care who you are. You're not beating God. I mean, you're talking about God who created us, the planets, the universe, created everything, heavens and the earth and everything in between, everything on the planet. He created it all. You're not going to beat God in a wrestling match. And it's kind of weird. Why was God wrestling with Jacob anyway? See, I think maybe, I don't know. Like I said, no, you're not supposed to reinterpret what the Bible says. So I'm just going to take it as what the Bible said. It just seems very strange to me. A, why is God coming down wrestling with Jacob? B, I seriously doubt Jacob beat God in a wrestling match. I mean, come on. This is God. I mean, it's not going to happen. That'd be like, let's say King Kong was actually real. That'd be like me beating King Kong in a wrestling match. Not happening. I mean, I don't know. I want to think that maybe it's one of those things that got twisted around in interpretation. You know, I don't know. Because, I mean, this is God. God. I mean, God. You're not going to beat him in a I don't know. It just don't make no sense to me. But, who am I? You know, I don't know. I've never seen God. I talk to God, but I've never physically heard his voice. So I don't know. Love me some coffee, Jack. Man, it's good. Yeah, I'm pleased with this haircut. I found me a new woman, cut my hair. I think she did a pretty good job. Yeah, I'm liking it. It's pretty good. Get these off. Let's do 33. Oh, man, oh. All right. Then Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming with his 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and his 2 servant wives. 4 wives. Who would want that? He put the servant wives and their children at the front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph last. Then Jacob went on ahead. As he approached his brother, he bowed to the ground 7 times before him. Then Esau ran to meet him and embraced him, threw his arms round his neck, and kissed him, and they both wept. Then Esau looked at the women and children and asked, "Who are these people with you?" "These are the children God has graciously given to me, your servant," Jacob replied. Then the servant wives came forward with their children and bowed before him. Next came Leah with her children, and they bowed before him. Finally, Joseph and Rachel came forward and bowed before him. "And what were all the flocks and herds I met as I came?" Esau asked. Jacob replied, "They are a gift, my lord, to ensure your friendship." "My brother, I have plenty," Esau answered. "Keep what you have for yourself." But Jacob insisted, "No, if I have found favor with you, please accept this gift from me. And what a relief to see your friendly smile. It is like seeing the face of God. Please take this gift I have brought you, for God has been very gracious to me. I have more than enough." And because Jacob insisted, Esau finally accepted the gift. "Well," Esau said, "let's be going. I will lead the way." But Jacob replied, "You can see, my lord, that some of the children are very young, and the flocks and herds have their young too. If they are driven too hard, even for one day, all the animals could die. Please, my lord, go ahead of your servant. We will follow slowly, at a pace that is comfortable for the livestock and the children. I will meet you at Seir." "All right," Esau said, "but at least let me assign some of my men to guide and protect you." Jacob responded, "That's not necessary. It's enough that you receive me warmly, my lord." If I remember right, he don't go to Seir. So Esau turned around and started back to Seir that same day. Jacob, on the other hand, traveled on to Succoth. That's what I thought. There he built himself a house and made shelters for his livestock. That is why the place was named Succoth, which means shelters. Later, having traveled all the way from Padan Aram, Jacob arrived safely at the town of Shechem, in the land of Canaan. There he set up camp outside the town. Jacob bought the plot of land where he camped from the family of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 pieces of silver. And there he built an altar and named it El Elohe Israel. Elohe. Is that Elohe? El Elohe Israel. I think that's what it is. And that's 33. Oh, okay. That wasn't too long. Wasn't too long. Okay, get my coffee here. Yeah, I'm really digging this haircut. Y'all ain't gonna believe where I got it cut. I have paid $40-50 to get my hair cut. I have paid 30. I paid a good amount of money to get my hair cut. I wanted great clips. I paid $16. And I'm gonna tell you, this looks just as daggum good as ones, if not better, than the ones I was paying $40-50 for. That old saying, you get what you pay for, I don't think applies anymore. I have, which at the time was one of the most expensive phones you could have, a Galaxy Note 9. That's what this is, which is older now. But at the time, that was, if you had a Android, this was the flagship phone, $1,000 phone. Apple had their $1,000 phone, whatever it was. But I'm gonna tell you, this thing, my old S4 and S6 is better than this thing. Anymore, you spend more money, you're just getting screwed over harder. That's all it is. Now, I will say the only difference is two of our TVs are Samsung TVs. And then the third one is a Vizio. The Vizio, which I used to love, takes forever to come on. I mean, this thing, you can click on, go to the restroom, come back, and it just now come on. These Samsungs, you click power like that. It's instantaneously. I do like these Samsung TVs. They're pretty nice, and they do cost more. So I guess you could say certain things, the more you pay, you might get better. But for the majority of the stuff, you might as well just go cheap as you can, because this is what you get anyway. It don't matter if you spend $1,000 or $100. It's all made in China crap anyway. And I proved this to my wife, who happens to love Coach and Michael Kors purses. We were in Macy's one day, and I was like, you know what? I bet these ain't even made in the United States. You paying $200, $300, $400 for one of these purses? I bet it ain't even made in this country. So I asked Google. I said, Google, where is Michael Kors purses made? China. Google, where is Coach purses made? China. So, and she says, well, but it's a better quality even though it's made in China. It's still made in China. If you think that purse is going to last you any more than a year, you're crazy. It's not happening. Back in the day when I was growing up, you could have appliances that would last you, oh my Lord, you pass them down through the family. These things would last forever. I mean, you had appliances that would last 30, 40 freaking years. You're going to do good if you get 5 to 7 years out of one now. And they cost more than they did back then. I remember cars. If you took care of it and you maintained it, well, it lasts forever. I mean, you may have to do like a top end, bottom end rebuild on your motor or something, but they'd last forever. Not anymore. You drive them off the dealership lot, and within a month, there's a recall or there's something wrong with it, and they're wanting. But I've seen trucks $80,000, $100,000. You can buy a house for that amount of money, people. It's crazy. Anyway, we got way off topic, didn't we? It's supposed to be about the Bible, not about what you spend money on. Oh, I started because of my haircut, but yeah. Don't always judge a book by its cover. That's the moral of this story. Just because something's cheaper doesn't mean it's bad. Trust me. And I'll give you another example. You see his shirt? See what's on there? Calvin Klein. This shirt, you're going to like this. This shirt in Macy's. And is it Castleton? I think it's Castleton Square Mall over in Indianapolis. Like $60, $70. I can pay that. You know where I got this shirt at? We got a local store that gets like factory closeouts, whatever. $6. 6. Not 60. 6. Don't always think because you're in. Oh, let me tell you another little story I learned. People love Tempur-Pedic beds. Tempur-Pedic's the best. Tempur-Pedic this. Tempur-Pedic that. Let me tell you a little story about Tempur-Pedic and their $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 beds. You know how much it costs Tempur-Pedic to make that bed? About $200, people. That's right, about $200. You know where I found this out at? From an employee that worked for Tempur-Pedic, and then I backed up that story by talking to a person that actually sold Tempur-Pedics along with other beds in their store. And I asked them, I said, is this true? And they said, yeah, that's typically why, if you don't like or you get your money back for the bed or whatever, they don't come pick it up because they've only got a couple $100 in the bed. And you're paying $3,000, $4,000 for that. See what I'm talking about? Things are not always what they seem. Maybe I add a section to my YouTube channel to where I talk about and expose these scams and these price gouging and all this, like insulin, diabetic insulin. Do you know how much that stuff costs? There's another pill. I just seen this the other day. There's a pill costs $4 in India. The same exact pill costs $1,000 a pill here in the United States. It's the exact same pill. Why is it $1,000 here and $4 there? And I know this firsthand because when we went to Mexico, I've been on Z-Pack up here before when I didn't have insurance. and it cost me like, it was either 80, 90 bucks, $100, something like that. We went to Mexico, and one of us had bronchitis, the other one had pneumonia. I don't remember who had what. Been like 15 years or so ago. But we seen the ship doctor on the cruise, and he's like, let me tell you, I can prescribe you what you need. He said, but let me give you a little advice. When we port at Cozumel, he said, as soon as you get to the end of the dock, there'll be a pharmacy there. He said, go in, tell them your symptoms, tell them what I said, and you can buy some antibiotics there. You don't need it. And I'm like, well, I need a prescription. He's like, no, not in Mexico, you don't. I'm like, what? So we did what he said. Walked in the pharmacy, told him what the pharmacist there said. Oh, I think they pointed me, said, you need Z-Pack, and they told her you need whatever. And I'm like, oh, do we got to go to a doctor? She said, no, it's right over there on the shelf. Go get it. I'm like, what? So we go over on the shelf. Sure enough, there's Z-Pack. How much do you think I paid for that Z-Pack? That whole entire antibiotic course of Z-Pack. How much do you think I paid? Because here in the United States, it was close to $100 for it. $8. I paid $8 for a full course of Z-Pack. And it wasn't generic. This was Z-Pack. It was the actual brand name stuff down there. Why is it $8 in Mexico and 100-something bucks up here? I think I am going to start me a YouTube channel, or add on to my existing YouTube channel, or branch out or something and expose this stuff. I wonder if a lot of people even are aware of these facts. Let me give you another little tidbit that I bet you didn't know. I learned this when I was a store manager and in management, in retail, and in fast food. That pop, when you go to a restaurant and you buy you a soda, and it cost you what? $1.50, $2. Some places even more than that. You know how much it costs the restaurant? 10 cents. That's right here. 10 cents. Soda is the biggest single marked up item in restaurants. Sodas. It costs them literally, they have boxes of the syrup, like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, what have you. There's boxes of syrup, and then they have the carbonated water, and it gets mixed together, and that's what comes out of when you push on, that's what comes out. The cost per, I don't remember if it was 14, 16 ounce cup. Well, this was with a to-go cup too. So it's probably cheaper if it's in a glass. But it was 10 cents with straw, the lid, the cup, the soda, the ice, blah, blah, blah. 10 cents. And we charged like, I think that restaurant was like $1.59. You tell me. I'm going to branch out on my YouTube, and I'm going to expose all this crap. I am. I bet a lot of people won't be happy about that. What do you think? I ain't worried about it. I've got God protecting me. I don't care. Then again, God probably don't want me starting trouble either, I imagine. Anyway, I'm going to hop off here. Hope y'all got something out of today. I know I did. Until next time, I love each and every one of you. Y'all, please, please, please be good to each other. I'll bring you something again real soon.